Joining me on the phones, who just happened to call in. We did not reach out. But joining me on the phone, State Representative of HD 92, very conservative lawmaker, Representative Jonathan Stickland, who called into the show. Representative Stickland, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Chad?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
Great.
Looking forward to Christmas and getting my honey-to-do list taken care of.
I bet it's a long list.
Yes, it is.
Well, now you're a state representative. You obviously you serve right now with Representative Frullo. Did you serve with Representative Landtroop?
I did not. I came in 2012, which is the session after Landtroop left the House.
Okay, all right. I was just kind of trying to get a time frame there, and you called in about this issue, correct?
I did. I've had the opportunity to serve with John Frullo the last two sessions in the Texas House, and just really wanted to clear some stuff up. And number one, I want to say this. I believe John to be a nice guy. I enjoy him on a personal level. But I believe that it's time, and the folks that I've talked to out in West Texas are very conservative folks, and it's my belief that is not the way that John Frullo has been legislating while in the Texas House. And personally look forward to the opportunity to have Jim come down there and do a better job representing the values of West Texas.
Well, let me ask you, what votes in particular would you say? And now the people who have already called in, and we had one caller earlier who said they're upset about Representative Frullo supporting Speaker Strauss, and
Sure.
You and Speaker Strauss are not on each other's Christmas card list.
Sure.
From what I know.
Right.
Besides the Strauss issue, are there any other votes in particular that you look at Representative Frullo and say you're not conservative?
Well, and let me say this. Obviously, I'm at odds with the current leadership in the Texas House that was elected by Democrats, but that's not why I'm upset with John Frullo from a legislative standpoint. My biggest beef are the actual votes that we took. If you look at specifically Rice University, which is a nonpartisan, they literally score every single vote without any bias or agenda on where the House is. And they come out with a legislative ranking based on every single recorded House vote in the Texas legislature. They pegged John as the 12th most liberal Republican out of 98 in 2015. And that is based on every single vote. If you dig down deeper than that, outside of the speaker vote, I'm talking about crony capitalism is my biggest beef. And John has voted for every single crony capitalist, anti-free market measure that came up onto the Texas House. Specifically, he voted on SB 293 with an unconstitutional retroactive payment from the Major Events Trust Fund. They messed up the paperwork on an event that was happening, a NASCAR event up in North Texas, and they missed out on some of the incentives from the Major Events Trust Fund that they thought they were going to get. So to go and fix it, they retroactively changed legislation, which is absolutely unconstitutional, just to make a payment for an event that had already occurred. That's a major one that I have an issue with. He voted constantly to do film incentives down in Austin and all this crony capitalism where it's basically taking money out of my pocket and your pocket, Chad, and giving it to who they see fit. And what I want to do as a conservative and what my Republican Party platform tells me is we need to level the playing field for every Texan. Rather than legislators down in Austin picking winners and losers, we need to allow the free market to take place. He also voted against every conservative organization from Texas Right to Life to Texas Homeschool Coalition when he backed SB 19, which was an attack by the liberals and orchestrated by the leadership team to literally go after the conservative donors to these organizations. He voted against conservatives on a regular basis, trying to punish them for being conservative, like he did to Stuart Spitzer when they went after him specifically in his district. He voted against defunding the Texas Enterprise Fund, and he voted for a high-quality pre-K program, cradle-to-grave educational system. He voted for tuition revenue bonds, $3.1 billion of debt on HB 100. I mean, the list literally goes on and on. But the biggest highlight, I think, is when you look at a nonpartisan group like Rice University, and they come out with no agenda and say that John Frullo voted more in line with the Democrat Party than the most conservative members of the Texas House. That's what we need to look at, not speaker politics. That's what I'm upset about.
Visiting with Representative Jonathan Stickland, who called us. We did not reach out. You just called us today on the program. Now, let me ask you this, because there will be some out there who say, what is a lawmaker in Bedford getting into West Texas politics for and getting into Lubbock politics for?
Sure.
What would your reaction be? Because if you look at it right now, Representative Frullo has built clout up, has built up in West Texas. Does not have a lot of clout, as you know. I mean, you're in the Bedford area. You know, West Texas does not have a lot of clout.
Right.
What would your reaction to that be? And
my reaction,
why you yourself are getting involved.
Well, if you want to talk about political clout, I think that you have to look at the current structure of the Texas House, and I think almost anybody would realize that the current leadership, Speaker Strauss, which is what John has attached his political future to. He's backed them from beginning to end. He is definitely in that camp. I think they're on their way out. I absolutely do. You look at the original 12 Republicans who sided with all the Democrats to get him elected originally, and there's 2 of them left. So I believe that we're headed towards a regime change. And for folks that have been all in for this current leadership structure, if you want to look past the next 2 years, I think you need someone in there who is not tied down with the strings attached to this leadership team that is on its way out. In regards to a Tarrant County legislator having an impact on West Texas, look, there are local issues that I understand. There are things, hospital districts, there are local issues that have to do with special purpose districts and Texas Tech and things of that nature. That's not what I'm talking about. John's done a decent job on that. What I'm talking about is the impact that he's had on the entire state's economy by voting for this crony capitalism, anti-free market measures, and my people are directly impacted on 95% of the votes that John Frullo takes, which is why I have an interest in this. I've personally been trying to educate the voters, because what we have is we have a situation where politicians have been campaigning is one thing, but then legislating is something else. What I want is truth and honesty. And if we get past the I'm pro-life, I'm pro-gun, the basic red meat stuff that's being thrown out there in the campaign, and actually dissect what he has voted on thousands of times in Austin, we need better representation. Texas deserves better. And I think West Texas will be better served by a conservative who is going to be on the next leadership team to bring it home for you guys.
Well, I think it's going to be a big debate in this campaign. Are you going to come out to the West Texas area and campaign for Jim Landtroop?
I've got a race going on myself, but I will tell you this. I believe it to be one of the most important races in Texas, and if I have time, I will certainly be out there as much as possible, and I will be helping from the sidelines getting Mr. Landtroop, who has a proven conservative record, that we can put them up one against the other and see without a doubt, scorecards aside, comparing apples to apples, which person is more in line with the Republican Party platform.
All right, Representative Jonathan Stickland, thanks for giving us a shout today.
Thank you, Chad.
Appreciate it. You too.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
All right, we'll take the break. Chad Hasty Show. Like I said, this is going to be a big race. You're going to have a lot of money and a lot of debate going on in this one. Well, I guess if any of the Frullo supporters want to call in and defend John Frullo, feel free. Dial in 770-5790, toll free, 1-800-687-0790. Chad Hasty Show, KFYO.